Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello. Fix my camera.
So, come on, join us. We're getting right into it. We are talking about dating. That's always fun to talk about as an entrepreneur. So, this goes for the single folk, this goes for the married folk, the divorced. So, that's what I put all down there. But before we get started, we gotta say happy birthday to Maria. Woo! I know, look, she don't like that, y'all. She don't like that. So make sure you type in the comments, Maria, happy birthday. Her birthday is tomorrow, but of course we're not gonna pop on tomorrow night, right? So all right,
Well,
birthday girl, tell us.
Thank you.
Come on. Is that all I get? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Facebook user. Happy birthday. Yes. We all need to celebrate when it's special days, our birthdays, anniversaries, of course, our kids' birthday, just anything, So much is happening in life. And hence, that's what we're here to talk about is just everyday relationships. And as an entrepreneur, how do we date? How do we date our significant others? How do we date our spouses? Hopefully, if you're still married, you're still dating. Look, you got them. You don't want to lose them. And of course, this is from a female's point of view. So, fellas, if you want to type in like I agree, I disagree. Men date differently. The women as entrepreneurs. And of course, Maria and I, we are speaking from a female Christian view. So, if you're like, oh, I don't believe in that, that's okay. This is what we believe in. So we're going to roll with it.
That's right. That's our point of view. It is what it is.
Right. Absolutely. Other people have their points of view, but most definitely this is ours. And so we're going to jump right into it. And I'm going to start off with, because right now Maria is married, and I can speak on it too. If you guys watch, I had been married over 20 years. I am now a widow, so I get it. But because it's present right now for Maria, tell us, how do you date as an entrepreneur? How do you date your husband? And then also, what do you have stated in your book that are just really good strategies to keep the fire alive, man?
That's good. So dating while you're married, I could just actually say in the beginning, I didn't really put a focus on it, which is actually why I created the book, because it was like, okay, wait, we tend to put so much energy and focus in our business that becomes our baby. We not intentionally, but intentionally, put all the energy there and tend to forget that our relationships with our spouse, with our kids, with our family, with our friends are important too. And so when I realized I've been married for 13 years. I want to say maybe 7 years ago, and which is probably actually when I wrote the book, we actually put a huge focus on dating, like going on dates, whether it was once a week, once every other week or whatever. And we would actually take turns planning the date night. So in the book, I talk about how important that is, because even though you're married, you still have to keep the spark alive. You still have to build your relationship, because as you grow through so many years, which you're not the same person that you was at the beginning or the middle or however long it is. We are people that grow with time, with experience, with whatever. So when you're dating, you're still learning the new things about your spouse, because different things happen that shape your thinking. And so it doesn't always have to be to where you go out and spend money like a restaurant, movies, or whatever. It can be spending time at home. It can be a picnic at home. It could be something as simple as every week you have a TV show that you watch together and you're just spending quality time. And speaking of that, just really quick, it's important to know each other's love language. And I say that because one of my love languages, I have two main ones, is quality time. So when we're sitting down watching a TV show or a movie, that's quality time to me, where we're just sitting and we're talking and about the show, having little comments, and then we talk after and can't wait to the next episode and stuff like that. So it's just really, 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 really important to continue to date your spouse
I
when you're
love
married.
that when you said learn the person's love language, and the thing about learning that, like you said, um, that yours could be completely different. Like you said, the other person's is quality
Completely.
time. Well, what type of quality time? Because
Yeah,
everybody's quality time isn't the
it's
same.
different.
Some people
Yeah,
don't think that sitting there watching television is great quality time.
right.
Their quality time may be like, okay, I like to go outside and I like to exercise and we talk
Hmm.
during
And
that.
I have a good example of that too, because my husband's love language is acts of service. And for the longest times, and still sometimes still is, like, that's one of the hardest ones for me, because as an entrepreneur, you get other people to do things for you because you're go, 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 go. But so if your love language is acts of service, meaning you want me to do this for you, it's like, okay, now I got to intentionally make time to make sure that I'm doing these things. And so I would go and research different, like lists of things for acts of service. Okay, what is acts of service? Okay, this list says this, 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 like take the trash out. But then I remember in the very beginning, I would do that and he'd be like, but he would let me know, like, that's not it. So we can all have the same, like if me and you have the same love language of quality time, my quality time can be completely different than your quality time.
Yeah.
That will make me feel love. So just because I took the trash out, that did not make him feel love. Now, if I cooked dinner when he came home because he was tired, and usually he would cook dinner, and then I cooked dinner, that would be the acts of service, because that was something like, in this moment, I can't do it. I need help. So without him asking, then I would do it. That is showing acts of service for him.
And see, this is really good because, of course, Maria's talking about the married side of things, and sometimes, divorces happen. We realize like, we didn't do this right. But then when we look on the other spectrum, as in being single, so I'm there now. It's very interesting to see where do we actually come into having that discussion with the person who we're dating,
That's
so
good.
we don't want to jump in too soon and we don't want to make it too late, but it's really important for both sides to really see what the other one likes, when we talk about love language, but then also making time, because again, this is a new person. So we're dating as a single. This is a new person. And he is like, okay, she's really busy. Is she gonna make time for me? How about if, we have dinner? But I would have to say to my I would really, really have to say to my gentleman friends who is dating or who are dating either entrepreneur or and have the mindset that she is an executive. So an entrepreneur, they are the highest officer of their company. And if you've ever dated anyone as who's a VP or as an executive, there are deadlines that can't be missed. Is that a 9 to 5? They're working sometimes 40, 50, 60 hours. So again, making, understanding that particular timeline is just so very important. And that's important for the spouses. That's important for the spouses too. You're like, okay, not today because I have to do X, Y, and Z. But like you said, that communication is just so important
So I think
across any
you
relationship.
touched a good point there. I think you should probably, I want you to expand a little bit, because in the dating world, and we have women, for not for whatever reason, but a lot of women entrepreneurs tend to be single as you climb the ladder of success. When is a good time to start? Because when you start talking about love language, you don't want to be manipulated either, right?
Mhm.
So if I tell you my love language is touch or quality time, and then they go and start doing all these things, and then you start to fall in love, and you miss the red flags, when would you consider a good time in dating to even let the person know, these are my love languages?
I would not state these are my love languages. That is just a dead giveaway. You got to
If
work
they
for this stuff.
understand that language, because a lot of
right.
people
But you can
don't know love
say,
language.
right, you could say, during conversations, like, I really enjoy great gifts. Great gifts make me feel great. So again, if he is really focused on you, then he'll hear like, oh, she likes this. And that goes both
That's
ways.
good. Yeah.
If he's saying like, I love to hike, I love to just walk and just hike, me, I don't like camping. Okay, just out the gate. Boom. Somebody be like, hey, I love camping. The only way, bro, we got to be glamping. It's got to be, you got to have electricity. You got to have running water. That's how I camp. Okay.
You
That's the
say you don't
reality.
camp.
You like, Michelle, that ain't camping. Right. So, so you meet in the middle. You don't ever want to do something that just truly like brings fear, or something that just totally disgusts you. But both parties are supposed to be learning each other. And if he doesn't notice that you really like nice gifts, or that you enjoy quality time, again, they're supposed to be learning you, because if you give them too many clues, then what the heck, I
Yeah.
mean, you might as well
Give them a
have it
roadmap.
on your chest, right? And say, okay, I love great gifts. I love this. I love that. And I understand, that that's on the dating apps too. Like, I love to do this and I love to do that. And like you said, when is too soon? Because people can pretend
Yes.
on dating apps.
Yeah.
Because I've done that. I've done that too. And I had to shut it all down, girl. I was like,
Yeah. And
like,
then, and that's a good thing you said about learning each other. And that's why also, especially when married, dating is important, because different seasons bring out different love languages. And
mhm.
so for the longest time, my two were quality time and touch. And then I had a season where words of affirmation became my number one. Like, I needed to hear words of affirmation, but you wouldn't know that if we were not taking time out to talk and still get to know each other again throughout the years of growing as individuals. And I would say maybe now it circled back to quality time and touch, but as a person, you grow, you develop in different seasons. You need different types of love.
No,
So that's
that's good. And even some of the things that suffer is, sometimes, again, like I said, we have to look at when we're dating an entrepreneur, that they may have to travel. And when they have to travel for their particular job, for a particular conference, it's great if your spouse can go with you, but that may not be feasible, especially when you have younger children, or if they're working a 9 to 5. And again, it's communication. Like you said, like, some people's love language might be quality time, but if the other person is traveling all the time, then as dating, okay, so we're gonna go back to dating, and then I'm gonna go back to the married part, because again, I was in between both. Um, that if they know that you do this is for your business, then all of a sudden, if they start complaining, oh, you're traveling too much, this, that, and the other, it's time to have that discussion. You be like,
hmm
I always travel. But the thing is, when do you make time for him? And maybe that's not the right time. Maybe,
hmm
you're like, not the right time for him, or he is the right one, but it's not the right time, or he's not the right one.
Yeah, I mean, and when and you make it work. Listen, when you love this person, or when you're dating this person, because like in the beginning, when my husband and I were dating before we were engaged or married, he traveled for work, and I remember I would sometimes go wherever he was, because he used to tour with IndyCar and NASCAR, and they would set up whatever. So even to this day, like my most memorable trip while we were dating was visiting him in Miami, where he would go and work for the day and I'm just chilling on the beach and doing whatever. So like you make it work, right? So when we got married and we have our kids, sometimes I would go meet him and it would be just me. Sometimes it'd be me and the kids, where we would go and maybe stay at a water park or whatever. So that's part of the communication. That's because, again, my love language, which before I understood love languages, that's what it was the quality time. And it was important that I would meet him somewhere, or he would come back home sometimes, and we would be able to spend that quality time. So that's important in dating, knowing and understanding your love language, and that partner knowing and understanding his love language, and then through conversations, you know, understanding that person more.
Absolutely, because so I have one friend. She is a boss. She is a true boss in her field. And it's funny. So she's on the dating circuit, and that was one of the issues was that some of the guys she was dating, they would call in the middle of the day and say, hey, X, Y, and Z, and she doesn't call back for 2 hours. Well, again, she is an executive.
Busy.
Executive just can't like get
Yeah.
up, like, oh yeah, let me do this, that, and the other, because you are the executive. And working in a lot of Fortune 500 companies, again, they are in meeting after meeting after meeting, you know. And if this is somebody who's new, and again, they don't understand the entrepreneurship part of things, maybe they're watching a little too much social media. Like, if you're your own boss, you do whatever you want. Well, not quite, and not all the time. Not all the time. But again, it's going back to that communication
Yeah.
of them understanding the importance of things that you have to do, just as an entrepreneur and as the executive officer of your company.
That's part of that balance. You gotta learn to balance.
Yeah. And even and so I know for me, and not saying it doesn't affect married women either, but it got really interesting when I did become a widow, and the advances that I would begin to get uh, more and more as an entrepreneur, because again, I'm all about networking, I'm all about conversation,
Mhm.
all of
You
it.
all about the business right now.
Right. And then all of a sudden, some people I knew, some people I didn't know, pretty much try to take advantage of the widow, like the widow title. And unfortunate, I would have to say that it was just a lot of married men out there doing that. Hence, that's why I have the book attached. The book attached, married men trying to date all the single ladies, and that's a problem in itself, because I know for me, as in business, that if you just out here wilding out like that I don't want to do business with you. I want to be fair to myself, and then I want to be fair to that wonderful woman who you married to, and you out here wilding out. I don't want any parts of it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
No
you
thanks.
know, right, and then, if you're traveling with if you have to travel with this person because you've partnered or collaborated with them, now you have to be concerned if they're going to try to do
Try
something.
something.
And as an entrepreneur, that's stressful already. You're looking at the finances, you're looking at your networking with people. Again, you want to be able to trust the people who you're partnering with. So it's not always easy. It's not always easy to date as an entrepreneur, single or married. Like
Mhm.
that communication.
Yeah, it really takes prioritizing. Like if you're
Mhm.
in a season where you know what, I'm just be on my grind right now as a single person. I'm not worried about that. You see a lot of celebrities and people do it all the time. Like I don't have time for that because my focus is laser here. And then when you get here, and this is not for everybody, when you get here, then you're like, you know what, you enter a season, I'm ready to date. So now you have to, it's a have to prioritize to be able to date and give attention to whoever it is. And that's whether you're married or single. Like you have to prioritize your time. Which is why, like you said, when you talk about in your book, in my book, I talk about, of course, the book is 101 tips as the wife, the mom, the boss lady. So my perspective in the book is coming from being a wife. Like you have to prioritize that quality time with your spouse. And a lot of that comes with the communication that comes from it. Like when are we going to communicate? It can be during a date. It can be just sitting down. It's extremely important. So in the book, I give tips, but then also I actually have, and I'm gonna laugh when I say it because like I'm just a person that don't curse, but so it's a play on words that my friend had for so my activity book that goes with the 101 tips for the wife, the mom, the boss lady, is boss ass wife. So you're a boss as a wife, and in that activity book, I have a ton of activities, and it could be if you're married, single, whatever, or dating, different things that you can do with your significant other to help build your bond throughout as you guys grow and live together.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good because, like you said, even as a business owner, you've changed from the beginning to the growth. And so with that, that goes for your relationships, your everyday relationships too. And so if you guys are just joining us, we're talking about dating as an entrepreneur, married, single, divorced, widowed. It could be challenging.
Complicated.
And right, because you're dealing with somebody other than yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have to be realistic when we're dating another person, and we have to be open to it, because if we're not open to it, if it's something that we feel, oh yeah, I just have to do it to just appease him. Well, then what type of relationship is that? Like when I was married and I was doing the entrepreneurship thing, that I would have to tell my late husband, like, hey, today's a late day. And I make sure that if I do have a late day, that it wasn't something that we had already planned. Now, sometimes that doesn't always happen, especially if you were reaching out to one client and they are on a really tight crunch. They're traveling, they're going out of the country, and this is the only time that you can really connect with them. You let them know that, at the beginning of the day, once you hear about it, so they know that you're not just discarding their feelings or anything like that. You're really having a conversation with them, like, look, we're about to look at this contract, this $500,000. Like, we go on a date, we can look at this contract. So which one you want to do? Like, which one? Yeah.
So I feel like it's some keys in this conversation when it comes to dating as an entrepreneur. Like, definitely the first one is communication. Again, whatever your relationship type is right now, having the communication is key in dating. Prioritizing, knowing and understanding your love language is important. So it's a lot of things that goes into dating as an entrepreneur and understanding different things. So I think like those three, can you think of any more? Like, again, the communication, prioritizing, and love languages are important when it comes to dating.
And I say, honestly, be true to yourself.
Yeah.
If you find for some reason you are really finding a hard time to take time out for this person, then I want you to just, step back and say why.
Yeah.
Because, we've been in love, we know, the butterflies, we know all this other type of stuff, and the time that we have taken with our first love. You know, we're all up in his face, he all up in our face, we're enjoying each other's company. What is preventing you from doing that? And
Mhm.
it may not have nothing to do with him. It may be you. You may not be ready, you
Yeah.
know, and if you're not ready and you know that you need to be healed, then just take a break.
Ooh,
Where's
that's
the
a good
pressure?
one. Yeah, healed person. Ooh, that's a
Right.
good one.
Yeah, it's like, where's the pressure coming from? Who says that you have to be dating? Who says that you have to be married? How about enjoy yourself? Like you said, maybe take that time, get on your grind, get into your business, boom, boom, boom. And then after that, you're like, you know what? It'd be nice to have somebody here with me, instead of like, oh my God, I have to have somebody. And so now your dating life has all become another job.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
Where are you in the process?
Exposing my business, y'all. No.
Where are you? You might have some people, some men listening, and in the comments.
I am I'm in a really good space. I like being with me. I like hanging out with me. But I see myself getting remarried, of course, to the right person. And the top one is discipline. That's all I'm going to put on that one is discipline. You have to be disciplined. You have to. And you be like, in what areas you have to be disciplined? That almost sound like you got to be disciplined. But seriously though, I see things here or there. I don't chase. Okay, I know, coming out of being married for over 20 years, people tell me, oh, I'm Sheila, it's a whole new world, da, 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 all this other type of stuff. Okay, great, but this is what I don't do. I don't go chasing men. I don't walk up to men. That's not my style. I know there are men who's out there that's not, they prefer not to be chased by women. And other ones they do. I'm just not the one, I'm not the one to do that. So most definitely just a strong partner, a lifelong destiny partner. Right. Not another son. Mhm.
Ooh.
Right. Hey, I raised 4 children. What are we talking about? I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. Yeah. Mhm.
So it sounds like you are currently open to dating,
Yep.
and for a man that is disciplined to come and seek after you
Absolutely.
and make it
Absolutely.
very clear the intentions, because she go straight to business. From the time she go straight to business. So making it clear. Okay. So just if
Yeah, because
anybody is
even
out there listening,
because even in my books, you are so funny. That at the end of the book, I have the book that I have is the dating chronicles of the funny widow and her friends, and this is pretty much a different experience myself and my single friends have experienced, or even my married friends who experienced when they were single. Just different characters, because that's what they are, characters that are out there trying to pretend, which is a problem. This, I never knew how big it was, and at the beginning of the book, I stated, I thought my single friends exaggerated how ridiculous it was out here until I became a widow and I saw all the shenanigans. And I was like, oh, yeah, they didn't express it enough. I'm like, what is going on around here? Yeah. And this affects both single and married people, because, like I said, once they found out I was a widow, it's like, the foolishness came out of the woodwork, and me, I just, that's unacceptable to me.
Mhm.
This is, people are people, and when you do that to anyone, then you're breaking them. And again, coming from a Christian point of view, and you're cursing yourself. And if you got children, them poor babies, yeah, you putting that on your babies too. So
Yeah.
just throwing it just
Yeah.
throwing it out there. Yeah. So next week we're getting into August. I can't believe it's August, girl. August, and we are going to sort of go into the vein of dating, but beyond dating. Again, relationships, and we're going to be talking about narcissists. And this is narcissists who perhaps you may find that you're married to one. You're wondering what the heck's going on. That's where one of my books came from. Again, being married to one for over 20 years. And then we're also talking about narcissists as who we encounter as business owners, or even in the corporate space,
Mm-hmm.
or even as
Just in
parents.
different relationships, because your mother, it could be your mom, it
Yep.
could be a friend, it could be, a sister, a cousin, it can be,
It
yeah,
could be anybody. And then it's like, how do you navigate that?
navigate
And
it. Yeah.
that's huge, because the closer they are to you, the harder it is sometimes for us to see, because we
Mm-hmm.
love them. Oh, we love them so much. That's just the way they are. And it's bigger than that. And so we're going to talk about that again, just every day, not just as an entrepreneur, but every day. And if you do encounter one, what do you do about that? That's huge.
Yep.
You like, what do you do? What are we doing with that? My take, run. And I laugh about it because, a little bit about it, but it's not a laughing matter. It can be very stressful, extremely stressful, not very, but extreme to the highest level, where you can begin to lose weight, you can begin to lose your hair, you can begin to lose friends, you can even lose jobs. And in the end, you can lose your life. So, we'll talk a little bit about that next week.
Yeah.
Yep. So, All right, guys, put your comments in. We want to hear about them. We want to hear from the men folk again. Do you agree? Do you disagree with Maria and I when it comes to dating as an entrepreneur or as an executive? Like I said, really top level officer in a company. Is it just us women folk who's tripping? Is our husbands or boyfriends they just tripping? Or it's like or do we need like better strategies? But I know most definitely, like you said, communication, priority, and then of course love language, understanding how your partner responds to you. We're talking about
Yeah,
positive, we're talking about healthy relationships. We're
healthy.
not talking about right, right, very healthy. But that's all we got. And like I said, if you guys have any questions, most definitely let us know. Reach out to us. Check our books out. And that's going to help guide you. Maria gave you some strategies, and I'm giving you some laughter.
All
So we'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.
right, bye.